Good morning. Oh my God. It's, I guess, almost 5 o'clock in the morning, I think. And I'm telling you, there's something that came to my heart and mind about the stop, block, shutdown process. Stop, block, shutdown. I called it a process. But what about let's change that from a process to a psychology? The psychology of stop, block, shut down. So, what would be the end result? What would be the end result in a stop, block, shut down psychology or process? The end result is that whomever the process is applied to, or the psychology of that thing is applied to, never gets the opportunity of moving forward, or they're hindered from ever moving forward. But then there's another word: they will never acquire, seemingly never acquire, or seemingly never obtain. So, who's involved in stuff like that? Who's involved? Well, let me tell you that anybody can be involved in that. Anyone. Anyone who has a vested interest in making sure that something never amounts to, never attains to, never ever gets to go or move forward would be involved in that process. So their reasons vary. It could be jealousy, it could be envy, it could be hate, it could be they just ultimately want someone dead. Well, while I'm living, they not gonna live. They not gonna never be nothing. They not gonna never amount to nothing. And at the same time, the talk is going on, and all the activity is going on, because activity with that means that everywhere that other person goes, that stop, block, shut down application is, connected to, they're following them. The person who is doing it, following them, listening to their phone conversations, perhaps, putting bogus information through talk and chatter out into the streets, into the world. Every time the person tries to get a job or applies for a job, it could be in the emails, shutting the emails down. Then the other thing is not getting your mail. It's like you put in, all kinds of things, your changes of addresses, and your mail is still not coming to you. And you begin to wonder, like, what in the world is going on? Well, perhaps you have been the target of a stop, block, shut down process. So as long as I live, they not gonna live. As long as I can make money off of them, they not gonna make money. As long as they develop a product and they do something, even though it looks like it's so good, we're gonna take credit for it. We're going to go around and tell them that the people are crazy. We're going to go around and tell people that we just gave them an opportunity. We're going to go around and tell the people that we're the ones who get credit for everything. And we're going to also say, well, had she asked us, Well, had she allowed us to do it for her, had she told us, had he told us, well, they just went and did it themselves. I mean, they don't have the right to operate in the name of this company. They don't have the operate to do anything, the right to operate in anything concerned. This is our company. And we're stopping them and blocking them and shutting them down because we are the ones who are the owners of the company. And we have the EIN numbers and we have all of that. And not only that, had she told me before that this was something she was interested in, but I paid for everything. We already paid. And you know what? They have been involved, in a track of mental illness all of their lives. And we have been the ones who take care of them. And we're just giving them, they never knew how to run anything. They never knew how to do anything. So we're the ones. Stop, block, shut down. It goes a long way, or can go a long way, when those very things that have been said and have been done and are being said and are being done travel through your friends, or travel through to your friends, your family, your co-workers, associates, all over the place. But they will never come and confront you. And even when you are in court, everything else about you, according to their view of you, comes out. It may not even be relevant because they have so much to hide. So here's the thing with the stop, block, and shut down. As time goes by, you can begin to see just where things actually come from. So in this case, imagine a singer-songwriter, an artist, puts together a project, pays for everything by herself or himself, working with people who are reputable people. And, you have other friends from junior high school and high school and college, and you've already graduated and you're doing your thing and you're traveling and you're the whole nine, and one day you move and you find out after you move that a whole box of your tapes are gone from the truck, your original materials. Your original materials. And you're like, oh my God, where's a big, big white box of tapes? Let's say, quote unquote. Well, where's my stuff? And then you go like, you know what? I'm not even going to worry about it because my stuff is already copywritten. So here we are, perhaps some 40 years later, and we find out that there are other people claiming to have written the songs. But then you're wondering, like, okay, wait a minute. So it kind of looks weird that I've had breaking and enterings, and there's been this issue with my mail for like so long, and it's just escalated and exacerbated stuff through the years, and I've done everything that I could and made the complaints, but the mail issue still exists. And then you say breaking and enterings, yeah, stuff that I've had for a lifetime has just disappeared out the house. And then not only that, my music, my sheet music, my charts, my book filled with all of the lead sheet musics and regular musics that we used to get from Colony Music and Records. So where did they all disappear to? Especially when you know that even if you made another move later on, they were all boxed up together. They were all boxed together. So what are we saying? The stop, block, and shut down is this process or psychology, that starts at one point and will not end until the persons who are engaged in it, the persons who plotted, planned, premeditated it, are at a place of satisfaction, that you who are the subject or you who are the targets are either completely out the way or that they've completely taken everything from you, stopped it, blocked it, or shut it down, so that you will never ever amount to, you'll never ever make, you'll never ever succeed, ever, while you're on this planet Earth. It's crazy. It really is. But you would be surprised at the people who are involved in such a process. Plan and process. Plan, process, psychology. It is a fascinating look at the mental state of a person who would continue for a lifetime to do this to another just because. So is it really just because? Sometimes it can be just because. And the just because could be wrapped up in, well, you know what? My father took this away from me. Well, my auntie didn't do this for me. Well, my cousin never did anything for my family. That's one. The other, why should I be without? Why should my family be without? Why is it that they can make money, but we should not have when they were supposed to be the ones to take care? They said, but they never did. That's two. And what about, well, I was abused when I was a child and I was left alone. And my brothers and sisters didn't do anything for me. Neither did my mom. Or, well, my mom was sick and my auntie took care of my mom and took care of me. But she had a child and I didn't get the attention that I deserved. So I just left and went out on my own and did my own thing. And why should now my daughters or my family members be without? Well, they're going to find out what it is to be without. They're going to find out what it is to not have. And you know what? I'm going to stop, block, and shut down family that comes out of family because they need to understand what auntie did to me and what happened with me. So I'm going to play an active role in the other lives of the family members. But then I'm going to turn it around and blame this person and that person and tell them how they were not in the lives of these family members like we were. And that's the reason why this family member is like that. And then you know what? I'm going to block them. I'm going to stop them and I'm going to shut them down by taking whatever it is that belongs to them and claim that the other ones wrote it, claim that the other ones did it, so that they could see that this is how it is that you gain, finance, you gain money and stuff like. It's all in the family. It's all in the family. And why should she have? And why should they have? And you know what? As beautiful as they are, they're not. I'm telling you, they're not that way. And the other one is, oh, I pay for everything. I pay for this. I pay for that. Had they just told us, and if they wanted to, well, why should I? And why should we? If they need money, all they have to do is ask us. If they need something, all they need to do is just come and tell us. Well, they never worked before. They never had anything before. But you know what? Auntie gave us strict instructions. Or this one gave us strict instructions. Or told us this and told us that. And to make sure. But yet and still, be it cousin, be it aunt, be it spouse, be it friend, the lines of communication for those things that are premeditated, planned in that process of the stop, block, and shut down, it goes everywhere again. We're reiterating, it goes everywhere. So people tend to believe that it is so. But then if you look at those people who are involved in that process, where were they over the span of a lifetime? Where were they? Where were they over the span of a lifetime? They were not there. And if it was a spouse, or you might have been married to that person, and in body, they might have been there, but at the same time, trying to stop, block, and shut down because their whole agenda could be out of a mode of hate and bitterness towards you for some other reasons that you don't even know. But then maybe if you look at some of the dialogue that has gone on between the two, everywhere you go, you know somebody. There's means and ways of doing things. Well, if I don't take care of my family, then who will? 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. If I don't get, I'm going to go and get it somewhere else. And I could really go into some detail about that. Because sometimes it's based on gratification. You put the two and two together. Do you know that people just, they get great gratification out of seeing someone be stopped, blocked, and shut down? Come on. Stopped, blocked, and shut down. Gratification. Whether or not it's the smallest thing or the largest thing. People thrive and live off of gratification. And some to the point where they could stand right in your face and say, oh, you don't need this. I'm going to give this to this person. Oh, you don't need this. I'm going to take it and give it to that person. Or even to the point where you come into your place and you find out that all of your stuff is gone. And you're like, what? And it could be things that you cherished from childhood and then again, it could also be those songs, those lead sheets, those charted materials that you wrote. You might have had somebody else write them out for you, but the songs and things that came out of you, whatever it was and is your substance that you did, you performed, you wrote, you sang it, you penned it. It could be your mock magazine. It could be your pen and ink newsletter. It could be your poems. You are victory. Something so right. You and on and on. I'm just throwing out titles. Lately grace. It happened. Like this, like that. Joy, shampoo. Come on. It could be so many different things. But nobody on the outside who's heard of or been exposed to would ever believe that these things were originally created by you, belong to you, are yours. Because these factors, these people who are involved in the stop, block, and shut down have made them aware and others aware to some degree that you didn't do anything with it. So somebody else is going to take over and do something with it. That's number one. Or she thinks that she created this. No, but the extended family member did. But the extended family member is 30 years younger, 35, 40 years younger than the origination of the songs and things that were written. Or perhaps they're taking the substance and telling them to rewrite and recopyright so that these things never really look like they belong to the originator. Or the folks that took them don't even know that they're copywritten. But they lucked up on it some kind of way, or she left her papers in the street and he just dropped everything. We just found these somewhere and we just didn't know. And perhaps the son or two sons of one other person connected in the stop, block, and shut down is a poet himself. And he's a young person claiming that he wrote these poems. Or feeling like, oh, well, you know what? She took everything away from our family. We lived in this place. It was our apartment. And she kicked us out. So all of these different things, we wrote them. And I'm not going to rest until we take back everything that belongs to us. All of our stuff was left there. She just kicked us out and we didn't have nothing. And here's the thing. If the persons involved in the stop, block, and shut down are not truthful, even to the ones that they are closest to, their own family, friends, and everything, do you know that there could be like a mass amount of people that are just on the bandwagon and on the road to your demise? Now here, let's just look at this situation hypothetically. A lady meets the need of another, or a person meets the need of another in crisis. And then, jump to the chase, is told to leave the apartment. So she packs everything. This woman, she's supposed to be gone on a Friday. And she takes her time. And she gets things ready and leaves on a Sunday. Doesn't even ask for a few extra days. She just blatantly does what she wants to do. But her children are not there. So where are her children? The children are somewhere else. But she does not relay the information properly to them about how it is. She packed up everything and put it in the hallway and waited out there on a Sunday morning to get her ride to take the balance of her stuff. So to her children, it looks like, and they are told that she left with all of her stuff there. Now, it can't be that all of her stuff was there unless some of the things that she took out went to a different location, perhaps, quote unquote. So if it went to a different location and some went somewhere else, in the meantime, just temporarily, it looks like, or can look like to a mass of people, that most of her stuff she wasn't privy to, that the person just blatantly stopped, blocked, and shut her down by kicking her out, not allowing her to get her things out of the former apartment. And you see, that is one of the biggest, greatest tactics of the stop, block, shut down. The misinformation that is passed along, or the partial information, or the portional information. Because see, you remember that game telephone? How it is that if you start out by saying something, hey, I have a blue balloon and it's floating in the air. The next person will go, I saw a blue balloon. And the next one will go, did you see a balloon? Everybody's, hearing can be selective. And when I say selective, they're not open in the same capacities as other people. Or put it this way, they're open, but their processing of information can be different. So by the time the end of the phone conversation gets at the place where everything is stopped, it's like something was floating. You don't hear about the balloon. You don't hear about the color. You don't hear about that somebody saw it. It's just, oh, it was floating. So these are half truths, portional conversation, selective pieces, and it's like a whole mishmash. And then depending upon people's, sensitivity to the matter, if they're all friends and family, but look, let's go get that stuff, right? No, we're going to shut this. We're going to stop this. We're going to block this. We're going to shut this down because we're the ones who own this. This is ours. Oh, you know what? She didn't do it by herself. He did everything. He's the one who foot the bill. He's had it since 2000 and this, or, well, you know what? It was dissolved and then she never knew how to, and you get all of that. So if it's been portional communication, where part of the family knows this and then the other part knows this, but then there's that one who knows it all. They are in the mode of gratification. They are just so being gratified and so being lifted and so proud of what it is that they're doing to stop, block, and shut down, that they don't even realize sometimes that they are just continuously perpetrating a fraud, perpetrating a lie to their own family members, to their own people, because they know the truth. But their people sometimes can look dumb, ditzy, and stupid because they won't process. Like, how did this come? Like, what? Oh, well, she wrote the song. This person did. No, she wrote them. She did something. This other person might have done a little bit, but no, we have the original tapes. But everybody knows that she didn't. And if it involves a younger person in the family of the other at some 20 something years old or 30 something years old, or going from young age to middle age, middle kind of sort of, young adult, whatever, or approaching, they could have been bamboozled the whole time and made to feel like they were really accomplishing. And it's so sad that those things that are being used actually belong to someone else. And they were never told the truth. So when we think again about the stop, block, and shut down, it's not just involving the one person or the two persons or the three persons. And when I say that, it could be mom, the one, daughter, two, son, third. I'm just hypothetically. But even their offspring, to the point where these people who are involved in it and who planned it and plotted it, that process, again, gloating and just gratified and just laughing about everything and snatching everything of value, some things invaluable, just so that they can live and they can stay on that high feeling of gratification, will destroy and hurt the younger ones coming along by not being truthful. That is a sick, demented, crazy, lunatical mind. Covered up. Covered up by a PhD, can be covered up by a PhD, a master's degree, connections to people in politics, connected to other people that are doing illegal stuff. It could be covered up by lots of things, by having friends and other family members and these people that don't really know the truth. But it's just a whole big cover up. And then you, the person who those things, those tangible things belong to, those creative things that you've done over the years and amassed, and seemingly looks like you really didn't do it, or they know that you did it, but you don't have a right to what you did. Or, well, she didn't do anything with it. And there's that stop, block, shut down. And it also spells out a way to control. Just think about that for a moment. So you say, what person would do all of that and make it a lifetime agenda? And all along, you could be right in their face like, hey, how you doing? You have no idea. You have no idea. You already set the tone for your career. You've started, you've done this, and you've done that. You have no idea how people really feel about you until you start to see little things happening. And then you don't want to attribute it to them because they're family. You were married to them. And then everybody thinks that you're crazy. So then the question becomes, did you get royalties at some point? Well, yeah, twice. But since then, this is just the songs and hypothetically speaking in a sense. But then again, it's real. Song been playing all over the place. In the South, in the West, in the ba-da-ba. So where's the money going? Where are the acknowledgments going? Is there someone else who took the name of the artist or took credit for what they really did not do? Or took the role of manager, leader, CEO, managing someone who's really out of their mind? That's how they pretended to be. And we run the show, and it's to stop, block, and shut down. And maybe there's another family member who's going through the same thing. We're all going through it, but going through the same thing, started their own little something and trusted some people along the way. So it's really just a spin-off of the same thing. Then when you look at the lives of both people, it's like, dang, what in the world? And they've known how you were always together, sharp, doing what you got to do, gainful employed. Not only that, entrepreneurial. And then the jealousy, the hatred, the malice, they're not going to have nothing. They're not going to be nothing. Those people with a lifetime endeavor, a lifetime agenda, you know what it is? They don't even have a life. They have nothing. Even though it looks like they have everything, at heart they have nothing. And they are still on the gratification plane because that's what makes them feel good, to control, to stop, to block, and to shut down. So then when they see you get a little bit here or you get a little bit there, every attempt and every effort is made to stop what flow comes in. And it makes it look like you have a history of borrowing money. You have a history of not having. You have a history of not knowing how to run a business. You have a history of mental illness. You have a history of making bad decisions. You have a history of starting and never, of starting something and never finishing. You have a history. And could it involve other people? Sure. Sure, it could. And then with all of that, you can also narrow it down to the very one that you may have confided in that's supposed to, through the HIPAA laws and through the very other informed consent and those things that are involved in ethics when it comes to client therapist or therapist client relationships, that they went out there and divulged stuff or concocted stuff and you never ever got to see the handwriting on the wall. But then you find out down the road, perhaps, that they even are related in another way. Could it be? And the truth of the matter is, all along, it was a game. It was play. And the players in the stop, block, and shut down, it could be from the very top to the very bottom, trying to discourage and kill your intended way. It's sad. The psychology behind the stop, block, and shut down process. I know it sounds strange, but that's what people will do. And there's a whole gamut of people that only have partial pieces of the story, partial information, but they are dead on to say that you are out of your mind and that you could not own it and that you did not write it and that you did not pay for it. And this one gave strict instructions and this person paid for it. And some are right there in church. Some are right there in church. And some are just pissed off because they didn't get something that they think that they deserve, but they never put anything into it. So they'll take your information and dole it out amongst the people. And then the whole gamut of the body are completely against. Oh, we did this. We getting credit for that. And we'll turn you into a participant. And what does that mean? We'll turn you into someone who has to have a payee or someone who has to be controlled or doesn't know how to manage this or manage that. And yeah, they owned it, but they don't anymore. I mean, they're acting CEO, but we're handling everything. Look at the whole process. Oh my God. But still, the psychology behind the stop, block, and shut down. Are you on the bandwagon too? The whole thing behind it is that there is a definitive truth. And in time, it will come out. And you who are involved in this, and you may not see all the faces, but you can feel, and your stuff is gone, and you're like, what? And you've done all that you can do. You hold on. Just hold on. Again, there is a definitive truth. And know that all of these things could potentially make you go crazy. Literally. They can make you go crazy, make you look bonkers. Because that's the plan. The plot and plan of those who are doing what they do. To make you go crazy and to make you ultimately die. To take you off the face. While they're amassing everything that belongs to you. Your heirship, your rights, your royalties, your forward wages, your everything. Just shut it down to make you come back in some kind of way, somewhere, somehow, to say, I need. But here's another thing, a little tag to this. When you know that you've planned things and you going out and you do it and things are in place or whatever, you know, you keep it moving as best as you can. You never know what you're going to be met with. You never ever know. And sometimes you can be met with some of the harshest things. And you don't put two and two together because you don't see all of those forces, all those external forces that are working so hard to stop you, block you, and shut you down from whatever it is you do across the globe. So what it looks like to you is that, dang, is this ever going to stop? Like, you're in the right frame of mind and doing your due and continuing, and it's like at every turn there's something. And yes, these things are truly meant to take you out, truly meant to shut you down, truly meant to make you look like you're crazy, truly meant for you to go crazy and just give up. Because it's like, how much could one person take? Especially when you know that you're pure at heart and you're right in the efforts that you're doing. You're doing things moving on. Do you know people hate you? People can hate you with a passion, especially if they've already amassed and have taken so much of yours and made people think that it's theirs. And they have to keep going because they don't have no other way to live, some of them. And some of them have other ways to live, but they just don't give a damn. The whole thing gives them great gratification to see you have to struggle, to see you fall on your face, to see you in a pool of blood, to see you crying, to see you screaming, to see you without anybody near you, to see you have to, settle for something, somebody, someplace less than. To know that you were so jiggy and fly and look good and drive in and have your job and the whole nine and smelling good, and then to see you looking like a vagabond or see you settling for something that was so beneath what you used to be. That is a sick, or those are sick, demented, serial personality people covered up with a master's, a bachelor's, or whatever. They could be working in a shelter. They could be out there on the boats fishing for porgies. And they could be telling people all kind of, well, we the ones who got control and, you know, she don't own it. And they could be doing a whole bunch of stuff. No, we her family. We the family over here. She's this person's family. Switching up, flip-flopping of the family members. And then what if they all are together in the bandwagon? A family that stays together. But they weren't like that for a lifetime. But people will come together for an agenda and an endeavor. And depending upon the information that they received, they're at different places. But it looks good, sounds good, and yeah, I see it. And then it's you know what we did for them? Well, we did that and we did that and I died. But will never face you. Never face you. So keep going. Keep on moving. Don't stop. Don't stop, like the song says, like the hands of time, click clock. Don't stop. It's painful. It's hurtful. You are stronger than what you think. And even myself, I'm like, when, God, this is so. But the truth of the matter is, there is an end to everything. There's a beginning and an end. And it doesn't necessarily mean that will end in your death. It may end in the death of those who ascribe to that stop, block, shutdown plan, endeavor, process, psychology. No matter how wonderful they look, no matter how educated they seem, no matter how many friends of friends of friends of friends, no matter how many family members of members of members of members have a completely wrong story. The truth, the definitive truth will come out. Keep focused. And it's hard because you don't know who's who in your life, but you'll find out along the way. And sometimes you just got to go like this. You got to be like, in other words, you know what? They already cut you off to a degree because you won't see them that are in that mode. You won't see them, but they'll be finagling and everything. But you can flip-flop it and say, thank you, God, for the light. Thank you, God, for cutting. And then those of you who are not, this is just me, into the thank you, God, you can just be like, you know what? I'm grateful that I see some things. Or I'm grateful that my focus is geared towards moving forward. Even though I'm faced with all of this stuff, I'm still going to remain positive and know that I can make it, or I am making it, or I made it. I like to say, I made it. Even through the storm, I made it. Even before the storm, I made it. I like to talk in the past tense to some degree, like it already happened, that I made it. Because if I talk like that, I made it. I'm embracing the fact that I made it, even though I'm on the journey. So I'm looking ahead, believing already that it is done. Everything is already done. I just have to meet up with it. Come on, face to face, which is what you will never ever see with the people who are engaged in the stop, block, and shut down. You run your business. You run it, you do what you got to do. Keep your focus and keep moving forward. I made it. I have it already. And once your focus is set on that, it's just a matter of time before you see exactly what you said that you have already in your hands. So this is Elise. Oh, stop, block, shut down. The psychology behind the process of the stop, block, and shut down syndrome. Signing out.